The way out of the Smokies on our completed Smoky Mountain hiking trip.
8th day.
Was what?
8th day.
8th day. That was a lot of activity on that day. We saw 2 bear, one of which may have been in the attack on the man a day or 2 later. I'm not sure.
We saw one that was downhill about 25 yards from us, and it was non-threatening. It was kind of moseying along, and then when we were walking a little past that, we passed a little gap, and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and then I looked up and I saw this other bear that was about 15 yards above us on the trail, so he had the high ground, and that was an odd situation. And I know you're not supposed to look him in the eye or anything, but I did, and it was kind of to me it was like the bear was a little more ready to get aggressive, and he kind of calmed down and started looking in some other directions. And that's when we decided to move. I don't know how smart that was.
I didn't like being on the downside, but looking at the bear, I thought the bear was kind of just curious, a little more than the other bear, not so attacking, but it wasn't time to stop. I mean,
nope.
And
we got
hang out,
there.
and we were gone.
We got a couple of pictures of it.
Yeah. But I'm not even sure if I got a picture. I just wanted to, let's just go. He's got high ground. And that's the day that my right knee started going. I don't know when it happened. I think it even happened. I heard it click at the shelter. We're trying to get out of bed, of all things. And what happened? Slowly stepping down 4,000 feet into Fontana Dam. Not my fast day. And lots of rocks.
Lots of rocks. And that was where the fire tower was. I climbed up it. I'm already on a mountain, and climbed up this thing pretty far. And,
I couldn't do it. My knees were, I was just like, my knees hurting. I don't want to go take 20 minutes to come down.
Got some good photos from that spot. And there was what looked like an old cabin with a chimney still there.
Right beside it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a lot of micro photography with a lot of the plant species. You kept going, wait a minute, we haven't seen that.
There were a couple
we haven't
of
seen
days.
that plant before.
There were a couple of days since the second and third day were kind of snowy, so I really didn't pay that much attention to the plants. And usually I like to try and ID stuff if I don't know what it is. So I had to stop, take a lot of pictures a couple of days. We would enter these different zones with different plants, and it's pretty much, I think I got them all.
We're crossing the bridge. You can see where we came from. End of a trip where Morgan and I have completely hiked all of the great Smoky Mountain. Started off late, ended up in rain and snow, bears, then a long 18-mile, probably 20 by the end of it, mile day, lots of mud and slush, and very wet. Had to dry off our socks and shoes with the fire if we could make one. There were some really rough times, but good trip. Our shuttle ride from a walk in the woods, what was her name?
Vesna.
Incredible. She discussed all of the different
plant
forest
zones and the different types of forest, boreal forest, whatever that is, and rainforest.
We were well educated walking in with having her as our shuttle driver. And
The
thank you
funny
very much.
thing is that she had shuttled us to the same point at Davenport, my brother and another friend of ours, Elizabeth,
And
3
Jack?
years ago. No, not Jack.
Oh.
And 3 years ago, and I think she remembered us. We were packed like we were in the 90s instead of 2000 and whatever. And she was a little worried about us. She remembered how overpacked we were. But we made it, and it was interesting having her there again and listening to her vast knowledge of the whole mountain range.
She had it. What was it, 70,000 people that she's taken
Who knows? It's
on
a
trips?
lot.
It's crazy. And I think it's just hiking trips, not just shuttling. But pretty cool.
So I think she's done most of the park, 900 miles at one time or another.
Oh, you remember when we were on the helicopter pad?
Mm-hmm.
We saw two ladies, one of which had through hiked, and another one that had not through hiked, but she had done all but like 100 miles of all of the trails in all of the Smokies. There's a lot of trails and a lot of miles. And they weren't young at all.
And they were trucking. They were not.
They were with a group that came probably.
They were light and fast, and they were moving, and they were doing 25 miles that day, and they were probably in their mid to late 60s, I would say,
if not later. And the group they were with was all much younger, for the most part, and they came back behind them, what, a half mile later?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they were hikers.
They were hikers, that's for sure.
That was the same day too that we saw the airplane that had crashed years ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to document that as well as I could. We can't tell that much about it. A bunch of twisted metal and stuff. Not sure what kind of aircraft it was. I think maybe World War II-ish. And but I'd seen it before and not had a chance to really go down and look at it. So that day I had the energy to depack and go look at it. That was cool.
Pretty good. But overall, an incredible trip. Trail miles at 71. I'd say walking to other places we easily did 80, but a pretty incredible trip. Glad, came back from my last trip. My old college buddy said, "Want to hike the Smokies SOBO?" Southbound. I said, "Sure, let's go." Well, it wasn't quite that exact, but took a little bit of planning, and we got it all done, and then we went on to trail days. As I said, it was very cold. As you see, winter wonderland. We're trekking through it. See you around the bend. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. John Muir. Thank you for not only being a great friend for the last 20 years, but a great hiking partner and trip of a lifetime.
I know there'll be many more to come, and I'll definitely see you around the bend.